Imagine standing at the absolute bottom of a massive cloud-covered mountain. You have a grand vision and zero intention of taking the first step. This is the modern archetype of the lazy visionary. We tend to assume that a grander goal provides its own fuel. If the ambition is strong enough, the drive to execute should follow. Instead, the immense scale of an ambitious dream often creates a crushing sense of distance. That distance triggers overwhelm, making it easy to delay the tiny, mundane steps required to actually begin. Unchecked ambition acts as a psychological trap. It leaves you living in a phantom future, making you feel frustrated, feeling totally unprepared, and weaker in the present. Centuries ago in feudal Japan, a young samurai named Yuki spent his days visualizing glorious victories and memorizing advanced battle strategies, speaking endlessly about his future honor. Yet, when it was time to train, Yuki always found an excuse. He blamed the damp weather, his physical state, or a need to plan. Visualizing a plan activates the brain's reward system, creating the high of success before any work is done. With the brain feeling successful, a dangerous divide opens. You maintain the desire for greatness, but lose tolerance for the physical discomfort required to reach it. While Yuki dreamt, younger warriors were simply swinging their swords every single day. They quickly outpaced him, leaving Yuki with a head full of strategies and a life full of regret. Yuki's downfall shows that preparation without practice is just procrastination in a clever disguise. Motivation to plan fails to bridge the gap between wanting and doing. Motivation is a myth that keeps ambitious people paralyzed. It is the flame that follows the spark, not the spark itself. Waiting for motivation before you start working is like waiting for perfectly clear weather before starting a 1,000-mile journey. You might sit at the starting line forever, while those willing to walk through the rain reach the destination ahead of you. The need for motivation is often a symptom of fear. We shrink from the friction of starting when we feel tired, or the discomfort of pushing forward without immediate inspiration. Waiting to feel ready hands total control of your future over to the random fluctuations of your daily emotions. The legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi rejected the idea of relying on sudden, dramatic bursts of inspiration. Musashi operated on the principle of Kaizen no Mi, the way of small improvements. Greatness is built through the quiet, relentless rhythm of daily micro-repetitions. This flow chain illustrates the actual mechanics of drive. Action must strike first to tip the blocks of momentum, which eventually triggers the massive energy output we call motivation. Consider a student who feels too lazy to train, yet commits to practicing just a single tiny sword form every morning. Over months, this microscopic physical effort bypasses emotional resistance. The movement becomes an automatic habit, hardening his body and deepening his discipline. The smallest, unmotivated step physically executed today holds more power to create mastery than the most ambitious plan left in your head. Real discipline comes from the practiced ability to act while experiencing fatigue, boredom, or a total lack of interest. As the great teacher Yagyu Munenori warned, the sword that waits for perfect conditions never leaves its sheath. Building a life requires placing your trust in rigid, predetermined habits rather than fleeting feelings. This requires shifting your internal identity. You must become someone who is guided by commitments, regardless of how you feel when you wake up. You take control the moment you stop waiting for motivation. That is how you break ambition's paralysis and finally shape your life.